And we should be live. Hello, can you hear me okay? I hope so. Give us a thumbs up, my guests, if you can hear me now. Yay, they can. So I'm really sorry. I don't know what's going on with my normal microphone. In fact, I'll have to get rid of that, but it's not working. So I think my laptop microphone is picking up my voice. So apologies if it sounds a bit echoey, but I'll just very quickly say hello to the chat before we roll with it. And Tim, who is backstage, I did hear your Cast No Shadow. You probably didn't think we heard that, but I did. We've been doing some Oasis puns as we've been rolling with it backstage in the green room. But anyway, more of that banter later. But firstly, we have in the chat 80s and Star Wars guy, Keykeeper, Ray Dunkley, Tony Z, Des T, usual suspects here. A long time ago, Martin Long there, Des T, Delvian Seek and Destroy, Benekin, Ray Dunkley, regular as clockwork, TVC Macken. We've got Jedi Berry, Everything Clone Wars, and that is it. Oh, El Profesoro, Kingdom of Weird, Star Wars Root, and Marty McWi-Fi, great name. So let's bring on my guests one at a time. It's Solo Shot first, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, Mike.
How you doing, Nick? Are you okay?
I'm good, Mike. And how are you? Except you've got a bad knee, apparently.
yeah. Other than the bad knee, everything's good, mate. Everything's
I'm
good.
Sorry. I hope swift recovery with that, Mike. And it's good to see you back on.
Thank you. Lovely to be here, mate. Lovely to be here.
And I was saying backstage, I should do more live streams, man. I feel like a bit, fish out of water. I haven't done one for 6 months, I think, February or whatever it was. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, next guest, another Cockney. It's Daniel Church, ladies and gentlemen. Savannah.
Hello, mate. You all right?
I'm all right, Dan. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Always a pleasure.
And how's everything with you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Plodding on.
With your brand new kitchen?
Yes, had a new kitchen fitted, so I'm happy. Happy to be straight, won't getting all the mess when all the work's going on and having to move everything around. It's not pleasant, but
yeah,
it's all back straight now. It's all back to normal. So yeah, the wife's happy. I'm happy. Mustn't grumble.
I'm just trying to think if there's any Oasis puns we can fit in there.
No, there's none.
I'm sure they will come thick and fast as the show progresses. And we've got Jamie Drinkwater in the chat as well, I see, and Star Killer. So I'll give you guys a shout. And our fourth and final guest for this show, which is a long-awaited, or whatever, it's an overdue 10K giveaway video. It is Tim from Bosk Bounty, the man, the myth, the legend that is.
Hello, mate. Congrats on 10K. I completely forgot that this was to celebrate your 10K. But yeah, congrats, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And, I appreciate your time, lads. You've had a busy day, I know, Tim, today. So I appreciate you coming on, man, and giving us your full penneth, man. Well, what are we going to talk about? We've got a few things we are going to talk about. Shall I go through a few things that we could discuss? And because, we've got a few things in the pipeline still for the year. We're still waiting. The Ghost is this year, fellas. Am I right? Is it before the end of the year? Do we have a sort of date when that is going to appear? Is it? I can't remember.
October.
I thought it was October, but I wasn't sure if it might have been maybe November or something. But
it's strange we still haven't seen any box art for it, have we? I don't think anything.
Oh, we have.
Have
Yeah,
we?
we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the box.
Oh, sorry, I'm well out of the loop there. Apologies.
Yeah, usually I'm crap with details like that, but I didn't know that. I have seen that because it's on eBay, isn't it? Someone's got it listed for 900 or something on.
Yeah, Mike needs to listen up. He really does.
Oh, listen. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh man, I was about to start talking about Oasis there, but I haven't bought tickets or looked for them. Not interested really, but I have been listening to a few tracks from yesteryear, and I'm watching a few videos actually of them on in documentaries and stuff like that. They do make me laugh. The Gallaghers when they start spewing out all their whatevers, it's brilliant, isn't it? Anyway, it takes me back. But yeah, some going off the thing here. The thing that was amazing. I saw that someone was selling a barge. I thought I'd have a little look and see if what the price of the barge was now. And that was
$300,000, wasn't it?
Yeah, someone is selling it for that. Initial thoughts on that, fellas?
If I had the money, I would have bought it.
Back when it was 600.
Yeah, wasn't something put on one of the Facebook groups just saying, I'm interested in selling it, and then there wasn't the price put, and then the guy said, I'm going to put it on eBay or something.
That's right.
What does he want for it? $3,000?
Three and a half.
Yeah.
3, I think it was 3, something.
A lot of money.
Amazing, isn't it? I mean, when I actually, funnily enough, I looked the other day before I saw that post on Facebook because I was just having a look around anyway. I was thinking of the barge. I was also seeing what the secondhand prices are for that new Star Speeder, which is well over 1,000 for that now as well. It's madness. And then I thought, well, what's the barge doing? I thought that was about 1.7 not long ago, it seems. But someone has it for $3,000, which is, I don't know what to say.
They should sell it, shouldn't they? Because it's just getting older.
Well, the fact that you did was stop crying your eye out, then you should have bloody.
And I was surprised that Mike didn't know about the box for the ghost, but that shows the importance of being idle, doesn't
it? That's absolutely fantastic. Do you know what? I have to open a tab on Google, man, and get some Sandcrawler. I want to be piping out like this bloke has been, and he's anyway, whatever. He's a comedian, isn't he, though? So let's talk a little bit more, about what else we'll look at in this live stream. The giveaway, ladies and gentlemen, will be happening. There are 3 different giveaways. I think the first one is for members and Patreons, and they were playing for that, which is a custom. God, is it just me? It looks yellowy, but it's not. It's a clear bubble. Is it just the...
It's just the light.
It's the light. And this custom Wedge Antilles, which is really nice, that's made by Tatooine Customs. And if you're watching, Lee, I really want you to make me 2 more customs like this. I want you to do me a Plagueis and a Mara Jade. I'll send you the figures. And that's on an EU card back. That would be a dream to get those 2. The other card back we're playing for, or is up for grabs, is this one. I think that was for the people who entered the Only One fans. Is that right, Dan? I can't remember. You're my manager.
Yes.
It was, wasn't it? And those people, I'll show you the names of them later. There's quite a lot of people who entered that. That was a voicemail thing on the last episode of Only One Fans. And then people watching live tonight, you could win this, which was something I got 2 years ago. I got scammed, didn't I, Tim? Or whatever.
Yeah, I guess you did, yeah.
Let me go full screen here. Let's have a look at this. What am I doing? How do you do this? This is what I mean. I should do more live streams. Bloody hell. I know what to do. What am I doing?
You got scammed.
He did.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Just don't look back in anger, Nick. Don't worry about it.
We've done that one, mate. Sorry, Dan. It's been done. Next. How do you go full screen, lads? Oh, I know. I've got it.
You shouldn't have told the audience that we were going to be doing it because.
Yeah, they could have chipped in. So it looked good initially. And when I received it, I looked at it and I thought that looks so fake. And then obviously the black gun in there is a big giveaway. But then there's the BOE, the Blacked Out Ewoks. He had a look at it and he saw on the back the real giveaway, which says, oh yeah, reproduction packaging.
Mm.
Yeah, it's kind of a giveaway, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's not very
Excuse
good.
the pun for the giveaway.
So, hang on. God, this is there. You go. So it still looks nice though, and I thought there was a bit of channel history, so you can have that if you are watching tonight. You can be in the duck race, and there could be a winner for that as well. And of course, everybody who enters will be getting one of them. The Only One Kenobi patch as well. Chuck that in, and that is all up. Really, that's later on. And then, here you are, boys. Chew on this one until we get round to it. I thought we'd have a look or talk, should we say, about the Acolyte. If that's all right, because I haven't done that on my channel. Look at Daniel Chart's face. I don't think you're qualified, Dan, to talk about it because you ain't even probably watched it, have you?
Some of it. I saw enough, mate. I know all the episodes. I've watched plenty of reviews of each episode,
but did you
read plenty of? I watched the first 3, 4, I think. when they started chanting, and yeah, that was the end of it for me.
The thing I respect about you, Daniel, is you're a man of principle or whatever, and well, it's extreme in my opinion, but this fella would never ever walk into Galaxy's Edge. He's so offended by the sequels, and he probably wouldn't, would he? He'd stick by that. But I can imagine that you probably watched one episode or two and just thought, "Nah, I'm not watching anymore." And that's probably people like you made the ratings go down, isn't it? So
I think I watched four episodes, and then I thought, why am I watching this? I'm not enjoying it. It's rubbish. So no. But then I did follow what happened. Each week I watched reviews of where it was going and read all the comments that were everywhere, and it was good fun.
Acolyte. Tim and I recently, we didn't go together. That would have been great though, Tim, if you were there when I was there. But we were in Florida, we went to Disney, and we're going to have a little chat about some of the feedback, can't we, on what we saw and felt when we were there. And I'd like to talk, fellas, about the TVC horizon. We can talk about the X-Wing that just sort of has dropped recently, and then maybe more about the Ghost and what we project for the future for TVC. And also, fellas, this is something just to think about. I'd like you to consider what your worst TVC figure and card back would be together. And I'd like to see. Well, no, don't say now, please. Can you keep that to yourself? But yeah, I'd love to know what you have to say about that. Because I 100% know what that would be for myself. Anyway, and future Haslab, maybe we're going to have a chat about that. And of course, the giveaway at the end. Brilliant. That is the plan. Hello, Stuart Norris. He's just made it in the chat there. And Ray Death Ray. Yeah. Brilliant. And Bennick in there. Hello, what's this? So the more hate for the Acolyte I hear, the better. I loved the show, and the fact no one else does means I can get all those figures on clearance.
Nurse, he's out of bed again. There won't be any figures. What's he talking about?
Before I open it up to you fellas to share your thoughts on the Acolyte, I very nearly got snagged in, didn't I, Tim, to the retro collection of that. Because initially I was quite enjoying the series. I was just getting snagged into the... I don't know, I quite liked some of the aesthetics of it, the fact I was seeing Jedis again in their prime, and I liked those white robes that they had at the temple, and I liked the yellow lightsaber of Yord, little tiny things like that, and just the way the episodes flowed, really, the classic Star Wars wipes and dissolves, little things like that please me. But then by the time we had the last episode, I really joined everyone else and thought, well, it was not very good. It was.
I don't think there's too much wrong with the aesthetics, really. I mean, it looked, it looked all right.
Yeah,
it just lacks a decent story and the delivery of that story as well. I think it's just poorly acted.
It was
poorly written. That's just my opinion. There's been things in the past that have been poorly written that have been all right. Not everything is always like a Godfather type effort, is it? But I don't know. For me, it was just like the jumping around, and how quickly people's characters' motivations changed, without any sort of lead up or. Yeah, there was just no sort of payoff or anything really. It's just, I don't know. I was waiting for something, and I just felt a bit bored of it, really, to be honest. So, and I totally ignored all of the whole, business about who wrote it and who directed it. I was going to give it a chance, and
likewise,
I just felt that it just lacked something. It didn't grip me, and then, as I say, by episode 3, I was just like, this isn't really well made at all. But again, it's just my opinion. So.
Things like people have picked up on the fact that at the very beginning it was when they found her, there was a mystery of she's and they thought she was the one who did the killing or whatever. Then suddenly, oh no, you're not. We're on your side. And then May was dead, and she's alive. I don't know, man. Was it May or was it? She was one of them, and then May was the other, wasn't it?
But it's like a great example, right? It's in the trailer you see the Jedi Wookiee, right? and for me, I was like, wow, that's cool. Like I want to see that. And then they made you wait a whole week. So like at the end of one episode, they said, we need to go and find Kelnaka, the Wookiee Jedi. That's what we need to do. And within 5 minutes of getting there, they find him dead. It's like, okay, well, you just, you ended an episode on that cliffhanger, and then we get there and he's dead. And it just seemed like they sort of, like, even the first episode, they killed off Carrie-Anne Moss's character. And okay, you might get them later on in the show as a flashback, which we kind of did.
Yeah.
But you know they're dead. Like, obviously the show being set that far back, they're all dead anyway. But a great comparison is that Andor, for example, you know they're what's going to happen to Andor. You know already, but because the characters are so well written, and even the background characters in Andor, you still got that sense of jeopardy, even though they're all going to die. And it's kind of like with Rogue One as well. You still sort of cared about them, worried about them. They're in this tricky situation or whatever, and it was just entertaining and well written. And that's the huge difference between the two shows.
Absolutely. You felt that tension, even at a dinner party scene when they're whispering under their breath, raising money. You can feel that subtle tension. If anyone was to hear what they're saying, they grass them up. And it's like the whole World War II thing in it, that danger of, it's very difficult to start a revolution when you'll be strung up for doing so. You know what I mean, man?
And the thing was as well, they spent a fortune on it, didn't they? I think it was something like about 170 million or something. And you think to yourself,
180 is the popular figure that's thrown around. I've heard some people say 200, but it's not that much. It's like 180 million. Yeah, carry on, Mike. Sorry, go on.
No. That was all I was going to say. But I mean, Tim made obviously a very pertinent point. You didn't, in my opinion, and again, it's purely mine. You didn't really get a buy-in to the characters. But then, having said that, I suppose it'll be interesting down the line, and I might be being a little bit controversial here, but I mean, I'm merely saying, when I first went and watched, for example, like The Phantom Menace back at the cinema in 1999, I was so disappointed. And then actually over the years, that has sort of grown on me a lot more. So, I'm not saying it's for everybody, and I didn't particularly think it was brilliant, but, I mean, obviously, Nick, I like sort of the Star Wars content side of things, but personally it was a little bit disappointing. But you never know. Mike,
question for you with the Phantom Menace though.
Yeah.
Did you not at least come out of it feeling as if it was Star Wars? Like it just kind of had that, you could tell it was made by the maker, and it had, regardless of whether you sort of thought, this isn't really what I'm used to, or it's not what I expected or whatever. I enjoyed the prequels, but the one thing that I do love about them is because they do feel like Star Wars, and then as time's gone on, I've appreciated them even more, even though I wasn't one of the people that hated them when they first came out. There's not the best dialogue in some of them, particularly Attack of the Clones and things like that with Anakin, and part of me didn't really want to know about Anakin before he became Darth Vader too much, because I quite liked the whole mystery of the helmeted character, and with like they've done with Boba Fett, it kind of ruins a bit of that mystique and whatever. But I still came out of it thinking I have just watched Star Wars. Do you know what I mean? Did you not feel that?
I do, but it was a funny one, because I think, again, I don't know what I was expecting, for argument's sake, when I went and saw it, but initially I was probably disappointed. But then, to be honest with you, Tim, over the years, that's really grown on me. I've always, as Nick sort of knows, I've always sort of enjoyed Attack of the Clones, because I love that sort of the build-in where you obviously see all of the clones and those sort of things. So, I mean, it definitely had more of a Star Wars feel to it. But as said, for me, initially, I was probably a little bit disappointed. Just as time's gone on, I think I've appreciated it more and more and more, and it's grown on me, those prequels.
Because I just think that you need more than like lightsabers and Jedis and stuff to make it feel Star Wars. It's all about like camera angles and how things are shot, and do you know what I mean? And I don't know, some of these Disney shows seem to sort of lack that, and I think that they need to grip you almost straight away. And Andor, I would say that
didn't it? It gripped you that straight off.
Yeah, but I would say the first 3 episodes of Andor compared to the rest of it are maybe the slowest. And some might say boring, I guess, and that's why a lot of people didn't like it, because they couldn't sort of get a hold of it in those first 3 episodes. But once you go back to it and watch those 3 again, it's just, the whole thing is just a masterpiece as far as I'm concerned.
But then sorry, Tim, I was just going to say, it's like you said. I mean, when you look at the writing for Rogue One, and then obviously you sort of see how that was done, just an amazing film. Do you know what I mean? Right from the off, you felt that was completely Star Wars. Okay, maybe a little bit more gritty, you know, but obviously again, so it sort of catered again for sort of every age group, I suppose. And I sort of do understand in some ways, you know, what they're doing. I say I understand, but do you know what I mean? I can sort of semi-see why they try and do the things that they do, because they want to try and obviously, you know, pick up a younger audience as well. But it's like you've made it clear loads of times on your videos. It's about the writing, but obviously it's very difficult, isn't it? Like, you know.
I think Disney. That's Disney's biggest mistake since they bought the whole thing. Is the, you know, first and foremost, you need a good story. And
it's all about
story. Then after that, you can flesh it out and insert things that you want, and, you know, whatever it might be that you want in there. Ultimately, it needs to be a good story. Rogue One, you know, was obviously it's very closely connected to the original trilogy, so it's you know, it's going to resonate with us, that, you know, of our age group and what have you. But I don't go into any of these Disney projects or whatever thinking I'm going to hate this, I want to hate this. Nobody wants to hate this stuff, do they?
No, not at all.
So and obviously once you start getting more misses than hits, then it's a bit more difficult the next time to sort of trust that you're going to see something good.
Absolutely.
But I'll get like a great example was the girl in it. She's like hell-bent, isn't she, on like destroying the Jedi. She wants to kill them all, that group.
And then she
lands on the planet to go and get the Wookiee, you know. And then within 2 minutes, she suddenly decides that she doesn't want to do it anymore, and she wants to be with the good guys with no reason at all. There's nothing that sets that up at all. She just changes her mind. And then in the next episode, because she says something like, "Oh, I'm going to give myself up. I'm going to allow myself to be arrested." And then in the very next episode, I think she kill the person that's trying to arrest her? It's just
she goes back to wanting to kill
like nuts.
Saul again, and then
it just, you know, I just thought
it's very hard to keep up, wasn't it?
It's just hard to believe, and I think you just need a believable story. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you can tell. Sorry, were you going to say something there?
No, absolutely, he's right. Yeah, you need to believe what you're watching.
But what I can't believe is, for a corporation who should be fixed on the future and investment and making things work so people come back and buy or watch, that you can tell which of the series which have been slapped together. Like, I very much got that feeling from the Book of Boba Fett. I thought that, you know, off the back of season 2 Mandalorian, and then also with Kenobi, because that's the thing. When I started to watch Andor, I really wasn't in the mood for watching any Star Wars. I was like, all right, then let's see what this one's like. And I was pleasantly surprised. And then obviously after 12 episodes, you could see there was a real plan for that, a roadmap. But yeah, Kenobi was one I thought there was good bits, but then I just, again, weird writing, sloppy ideas. And then that's it, man. But then people don't come back if it's crap. It's like they did Kenobi, so they get a load of people subscribing maybe to Disney Plus. But then if it's SHIT, then they ain't going to stay, are they, man? It's terrible.
What's the next show? Goonies in space, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that, though. I can't wait to see what that's like.
So did you see the leaked picture of the Black Series?
I know
Neil.
you're not.
The character's called Neil.
Neil.
How do you
Neil.
spell it? N-E-I-L?
No, Neel.
Oh, all right. Yeah. That,
But I joked about it because after seeing the trailer as well. To me, like Max Rebo, for example, he sits there on his piano. I don't really need, I don't. The one that's in the show just looks like a person with an elephant mask on, and it just, to me, it looks, that's not what Max Rebo is. He's a full-on creature. Do you know what I mean? And it's the same with the Kelnaka as well, the Wookiee. Often that just looked like a guy in a suit, in a Wookiee suit. It's almost cosplay. Like a fancy cosplay. It really did. It didn't. He just looked a bit thin, and then the big head on it. It just didn't look right at all. And the elephant thing just does look like Dumbo in dungarees.
It does. It does. Like a little CGI.
And then
thing.
I saw someone else put a comment on Instagram saying it looked like an Animal Crossing character, and it does. Like if you've played Animal Crossing, it looks like one of them. And I know it's for the kids. I know it's to sell toys and all that kind of stuff.
What he's saying is nice. I don't know what this is. Is he being sarcastic or?
Is he not a Max Rebo species?
Maybe
right.
Wait, they might be going for that, but maybe he's just saying.
I stand corrected then. As I always. Well, there was always rumours that there was going to be a baby Max Rebo in it. So then when we saw the trailer, and we saw that character, I just put 2 and 2 together, and obviously I've got 5.
Do you know what it reminds
me of? Gas Panic. I got it wrong. Gas Panic.
Gas Panic. Do you remember Muppet Babies? Muppet Babies. Is everything all right in here, kids? Yes, Mommy. Do you remember it?
I used to love it, yeah.
Yeah, did you? I loved it as well.
Yeah.
That was my first exposure to the Muppets, I think. I absorbed it a lot. It was on every week or whatever, but it's a bit like watching Gonzo, the baby, and that or whatever. No, yeah, is that... What's the bear called? Fozzie. And then the Gonzo's the, like... Only money, like him, isn't he?
Yeah. But a few people in the comments are talking about he's not the same species as Max.
No,
Rebo.
he's not. According to Wikipedia, Max Rebo is an Ortolan.
Yeah.
And Neil, are you ready for this? Neil is a Neil's species.
What?
Because they don't know yet, basically.
Yeah. No, look, it says.
So, okay.
Hang on, where is it? Look,
yeah, 1 second. Hang on. Oh, that's me again. I don't want to do that. Oh, get rid of me. I don't want to make him bigger. What do I do? Make solo layout. There he is.
Okay.
So he's a Neil's.
But still, my point stands. Like
let's get this movie off.
whether he's the same species of Max Rebo or not, for me, it still looks like Dumbo in dungarees. It does look like it just didn't. I don't know. It might be great, and once again, I will go into it thinking, okay, let's give this thing a chance, and let's just hope it's not crap.
We've got Mando number 5 here. Hi, Keith. Great. That was all really. I think that was just the last. We kind of talked a little bit about the what's it called again? Skeleton Crew. After we were talking about the Acolyte there. No other thoughts. Anything else you want to say about that, fellas, before we move on?
Well, I'll just say that if I love the Goonies and I love Stranger Things, and if it's as good as those 2 things, and it's those a cross between those 2 things in the Star Wars universe, then hopefully it'll be good. If it's well written, it'll be good. Even though it's obviously going to be aimed at slightly younger audience, that doesn't mean that we won't enjoy it. But let's keep our fingers crossed.
Kids can act and be good in stuff. I watched, I don't know what you thought of Ghostbusters Afterlife. I saw that on the plane on the way back from America. I hadn't seen it. The sound was terrible on Aer Lingus. The earphones were awful, man. But the film I quite liked. The kid was really good. The Spengler granddaughter, thought she was all right. And he thought, well, we don't want to waffle on about that now. It's Ghostbusters, but did you enjoy it?
The first one was all right. I watched the Frozen Empire on the plane over on my journey, and I fell asleep through it. It's boring as hell.
Was it? I haven't heard good things about that.
I don't know, but
people like Red Letter Media didn't like Ghostbusters Afterlife, but they really don't like memberberry over heavy stuff. That's why they didn't like Rogue One. But people like Mr. H raved about Ghostbusters Afterlife, and he's could sometimes be pretty savage about certain films, you know what I mean? But he seemed to like that. I was interested to see. Anyway, so yeah, TVC Horizon, boys, this next section, should we say? I did notice that X-Wing dropped. And I was really surprised about this, fellas, because the last time I went on eBay to have a look around for the value of these things, and, you know, there's a couple of TVC X-Wings. You've got the Blue Leader one quite recently. Then you've got the Biggs one, which seems to just, I don't know, in value, it's not massively expensive to even get that, I don't think. But I could have sworn that when I last looked up the Luke X-Wing, the Yavin one, the newer one from 2019, it was, you could buy it for like 50 quid or something like that. Mm. So why they brought it out? And I could guess it's for a certain market. Maybe the Americans didn't get many or something like that. But what was the demand and the need for that?
I don't think it's been re-released over here, is it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, isn't it? No.
No. It's just...
It might be just to accompany the Luke pilot figure that got re-released. It might coincide with that, maybe, in America.
With that, Dan, I don't know about you, but I tend to put my crap figures in cockpits. I don't like putting good ones in cockpits, but I don't want to. I don't really want to open my Luke. I got another Luke the other day in that Wave 52, and I'm not desperate to get it loose. Not like the Vader and the art.
From what I can gather, the Luke X-Wing was tough to get originally in the US, I think.
Okay.
It was, or but you're right, Nick. Over here, it was in Zavvi for 50 quid, wasn't it?
I was going to say, was it not like you used to get like offers come through from like Toy Dip all the time? I'm sure like that used to like throw up for like 59 quid or something like that. I'm sure it was. Yeah.
Mm.
And to be honest with you, even the pilot coming back, I thought, wow, it doesn't seem like long ago that it was first out. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, Tim, but I thought that the face of the reissue of Luke was really... I haven't put the video out yet. I sort of reacted to the whole wave. I don't know if something was more alive about it. They've even improved.
Yeah, I haven't opened it, I've got to admit. But I think what it is... I think what it is that... So, because they did that Rebel 4-pack...
Lara V in the chat there.
You got the Rebel Pilots 4-pack. So if they're going to be dusting off that tooling for making those figures, then they might as well get another release out of it and do Luke again while they're there. Basically, I think that's what it is.
What were all your thoughts on that then? That 4-pack, because that did not interest me at all. I don't believe in army building pilots. Pilots are characters. They've got a name, even if they're a background. They're somebody, as opposed to stormtroopers or troopers or whoever, or just anybody like extras in a film. So, Mike, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I actually did order one. I haven't got it yet. Don't think. I think people in the US have got theirs, haven't they? But I think maybe a couple of people are starting to get them in the UK. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit different on the thoughts of that for you, Nick, but only because obviously, I suppose I just like to sort of build the diorama scene. So for me, just having more pilots and more background characters is fine. The thing that I didn't find weird about it at all, but again, it's like what they did with that sort of previous, the 4-pack from, oh God, what was the show? But by having sort of two aliens, you're not going to essentially army build that. You're just going to buy maybe one pack, unless you want to do loads of head swapping and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, I think people have. I don't know whether it's gone down well or not. I haven't really seen a huge amount about it. I think sort of some people that received it said, I think the mold of the figures is pretty similar on all of them, isn't it? I think pretty much
exactly the same.
Yeah.
So I think somebody comment if that's correct, then obviously like the sort of the female aliens or whatever that they've got in that pack are quite tall. But then you're going to have that, but. you know, I would have preferred it if they'd just given you sort of 4 generic pilots. But again, everybody's different. That's my opinion, because I'd have probably bought a couple of them. Whereas, you know, buying it like that, and then obviously, unless you're going to head swap, which I can't be bothered with any of that nonsense. So, yeah.
I don't know if it was you, Dan, or somebody said to me about the fact that people really hated the Imperials fought back because they were somebody. I like that, because as a loose and collector, I like the fact that I had Piet in there, and he was correct as well with the insignia, whatever that I wanted. Yeah, and then the other people, you could blag that they were like. There was one in there that looked like Moff Gideon's right hand. Forgot.
Oh, right, yeah.
Her name now.
Yeah, the girl. I know you mean.
Yeah, she was awesome in that. And then there was another one that was. Oh yeah, Motti was in there, which is great.
Motti's a good one, yeah. But, going back to the pilots. Am I right in presuming that the helmets on the pilots are all New Republic helmets? They're not Rebellion OT.
Yeah,
helmets?
I think somebody said they're sort of New Republic. Again, I'd seen that.
They'll be using the same sculpt, but they'll be just
they're not too
painted.
dissimilar.
They're painted with the decor from the original trilogy.
Yes.
No, well, that's I've ordered one set, but I'll offload that straight away.
And there was back to the Imperials. There was another Imperial that they didn't say it. It's almost like a wink, isn't it? That it was the guy from what's that thing called again? That game. It had Operation Cinder in it, basically. At the very beginning, he was a white uniformed ISB styley Imperial with a black hat, and he had
the old fella, the grey-haired fella. I know you mean, yeah.
Battlefront. Is it Battlefront 2? I think it was something like that. And
one of those.
Yeah, that's right. And he was in the very beginning, and one could blag that it's him, even though it's not stated. But
yeah, it does look a bit like him, actually. Yeah.
But I quite like the way that you can have them. They could be your openers, and then you only need to buy one card. And if and when they ever brought out, for example, Motti, if they put him on a card back, then great, you can buy him either or, really.
Yeah.
Get him out of the format. But I think it was you, Dan, said that people were getting really annoyed with having actual as opposed to just generic nobodies.
There was. I mean, Tim will tell you. Well, I think there was a bit of backlash with the fact that there are named people in these 4-packs, i.e., what's his face with the gold mush from Ahsoka? What's his name?
Oh,
Enoch.
Everyone's moaning that Enoch's in the 4-pack when he should be on his own, which is true. There should have just been 4 of those.
Yeah, because you're not going to army build that pack again.
Exactly. You might buy 2 just to do a bit of head swapping and maybe offload one of the Enochs, but you're not. You'd be stupid to buy 4 and 5 of those because you're going to end up with a load of figures you don't need.
That's why you see Enochs on eBay loose. And that's a good example then. That's where it doesn't work, isn't it? Because you're always going to be lumbered with one bloody Enoch every time you buy a box of them, if you really wanted a massive army of these zombie stormtroopers. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, so basically it's a case of Hasbro listening, but they're not getting the right message. And maybe like the community weren't really clear about it. So when we were saying like, please stop putting named characters in these army builder packs, they brought out that X-Wing pack. And I think it was actually you, Nick, in the live stream, you got a reply from to your comment. I think you said,
yes. I can't remember what they said.
I think you said I would have preferred named, actual Battle of Yavin, pilots or whatever. And the reply was, but we've been told that the community doesn't like named characters in these sets. So but the thing is, what they're doing wrong there is that like an army builder should be just troopers, right? And you might get a sergeant that's got like a removable pauldron, like the first one they ever did, the Stormtrooper one. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But then when you start putting in like the Tusken Raider Chieftain and Enoch and things like that, that's when they're going wrong. So you're like, stop doing that. But then what they've done is they've given you 4 pilots when really on that occasion you do want 4 named pilots from a specific scene.
Yeah.
But you want all 4 named one named and 3 grunts. You know, you want all 4 like that. So there's a big difference between an army builder pack and a character pack.
Yeah, you're right.
They're not. They're still not quite there with it, are they? So
it's like if they brought out 3 Gamorrean guards and Bib Fortuna. Imagine that. I'd be like, oh my god, make no
exactly,
sense.
Yeah, but because everyone would be going, just give me 4 gamos. I need gamos. Just give me 4 gamos. You would. Everyone would be selling the Bib Fortuna. So I bought 2 packs of the zombie packs, and I sold one of my Enochs just like separately. So then I did the head swaps, and I've got 6 different looking zombie troopers or whatever, night troopers, and then Enoch. And then I've got rid of one of the the Enoch that I didn't need. But people shouldn't have to be doing that. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing, because secondary market ends up being swamped with Enochs. So
you've got 6 different looking stormtroopers.
I've got 6, because if you swap the heads, because they're all different, because they've all got different arms and different legs, and there's one sculpt basically, and then they've just taken the arm off that one and put the leg on that one and made them all different.
I was going to say, didn't Tyler buy loads of them and swap all the arms and legs as well?
Yeah, he balled and popped them. Yeah, so he created
totally possible to do that.
However many different combinations he did it. Yeah.
Swapping one leg, one arm, and then
I think I said that when I was opening mine. I could see the different variations you could do. Obviously, anyone could, but I'm just saying, interesting.
Yeah. So they still need to get that right. We'll see what happens when they bring out the next white boxed thing.
Even that Clone Wars Phase 1 pack annoyed me because you see they brought out the Lieutenant again, the blue. I think blue was Lieutenant. And we've already had that. If they'd done a yellow one, I would have been like, wow, great, finally. But, again, you could argue that could be a single carded job. He's not Cody, is he? It's kind of like that.
Pons.
All 4 troops are advancing last year. Very good.
And they also did it with the other 4 pack of the clones, didn't they? Didn't they have, was it Waxer or Boyle, one of them in?
Yeah. Waxer, yeah. So you got 3. I've got them here, actually. Yeah, you got 3 of these guys.
Yeah, which look really good.
And then actually that is actually Waxer, with the thing on. So that's a bit annoying as well. But
the Phase 2 was 2 501sts, and it was what I can't remember now.
2 white, 1 501st, 1 332nd.
Oh, is that the Ahsoka thing?
Yeah. So
I've never liked that.
Although that is a little bit annoying because I just want 4 501sts.
Yeah.
That set is kind of based on the end of season 7 of the Clone Wars.
But still, they'd all add up. It's worth buying a few of them. You've got no problem there. You've got no multiples, have you?
No.
If you had a Rex in there, it would be a problem.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I never liked that Ahsoka squadron. I don't know about you. I don't know. I just thought it was just too gimmicky. Like having a custom helmet like that, looking like her. It's like worshipping her or something. I don't know. Like idolizing her or something. I don't know. But whatever.
So what would we like for a 4-pack next?
Gamorrean.
You want Gamo?
Sand Troopers.
Yeah.
Sand Troopers all day long.
Yeah, that would be nice. I wouldn't say no to that, lads, actually. But it's just Gamos. I've only got that one loose Gamo in my life. And even that reissue is bloody, excuse me language, astronomical, isn't it?
They are expensive, the Gamos.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah,
you think it would be? It's had a reissue. Sorry, Tim. Go on.
The reissue is like 50 quid again, isn't it?
So when they first reissued it, though, then I mean, did they sort of just do limited numbers of it, Tim, at all? To like why they're so?
Must have been, mustn't it, Tim? It had to be.
I think back then was when things used to sell out on in-demand toys, and used to, like, when the pre-orders went up, if you didn't get on in-demand toys, Kapow or Star Action Figures, immediately when that went up, you would be out of luck. And that's because we didn't have Hasbro UK back then. They had to order all their stuff from the States or distribution companies or whatever. So they obviously could construct, with Hasbro UK, they can control the stock a bit better now and know what they're getting and all that kind of stuff. So,
and there's loads of stuff from that era, Tim, that I still can't get my head around how it's so expensive and rare. Like that, what's she called? That archaeologist, Afra, that wave. I mean, I just bought it as a normal punter, from what's he called, Dark Side Alliance. Curse me for saying
Don't say his name.
I know. Good one. Anyway, but the thing was that I could have easily have opened that if I just thought, I want it loose, I'll open it. But then there's obviously not many around, is there? So for her to be so expensive in the secondary market, don't know how that is. And also the likes of, was it Andor? The UK Andor is as well, isn't it? With the UK or European variant of Andor.
Wasn't the Dr. Aphra in the Entertainer for a $5?
Yeah, but that's that US one with the warning on the top. Yeah.
I even think maybe the Andor without the warning is harder to get than the Aphra. I often, not often, but I see people selling the Aphra a lot more than I see people selling the. Like if you put in, obviously discarding the reissue of Andor, that's the same figure, but the original release 2018, 19 or whenever it was, if you put that into eBay, every single one has got the warning on it. It's very difficult to get whereas with the Aphra, you will get occasionally someone selling it for like 500 quid or whatever, which I'm not paying.
I sometimes keep my eye out for the UK or European one of the Solo, the young Solo, because I don't have that, and also Empress Nest as well. But again, do I really want to fill up more wall space with them? Anyway, that's just I mentioned that.
The only one that I've got is Chewie.
Yeah,
I make sure that's the one I display without the, because obviously
he's not that expensive to get him, the European one of him.
Not like the Aphra and the and there's a couple of others as well, isn't there? Like the Luke Skywalker from The Last Jedi and
Tank Commander.
Tank Commander.
What's the other one? It's
the
Phasma, Captain Phasma as well. You can get without the.
Oh yeah.
And the Praetorian Guard as well. I think the Praetorian Guard goes for about 150 without the warning.
You're kidding me! Bloody hell, man! Wow, I should be selling that then.
Wasn't there an Imperial Gun?
I bet you did. Yeah. I might hang on to that because they won't be bringing that out again, will they? Like layers. Sorry, Dan, you were saying.
Wasn't there an Imperial Gun, a Rogue One Imperial Gunner without the warning as well? Or am I imagining that?
Potentially.
It might have been,
yeah. Yes.
I think there was.
I got two variants of that.
That was the era where you could get the name pills, but I'm not too sure if. Yeah, so when it had a single name pill, you didn't have the warning, did you, on the top right? But there's certain ones that are much rarer than the others, like the Aphra and the Andor. They're the two that are like just silly money.
This is Trevor Ritchie here. He says he's picked up the Empress Nest and Range Trooper. There was a period of time, Tim, you were really looking for the Range Trooper with the single pill.
Yeah.
And then I think they dropped. I think somebody put them out and you can get it for nothing if it was Star Action.
The whole wave. You can still get that. 50 quid for the whole wave, I think it was. So I bought that whole wave again just to get the Range Trooper.
Yeah, that's a great figure and character. It's a shame that they could maybe come back somehow. I don't know. All right, fellas. So one of the things I wrote down here, I don't know if you've had a chance to think about this, but what would be your worst TVC figure and card back? If you don't mind, I will go first. Because I had this figure. Oh, hello. We'll wait for you then, but keep talking. I had this figure in my hand this week because I was messing around with a custom. I got some. I was messing around with these little Tomorrowland, what they call now, the People Mover carriages. And I was just putting some figures in there, and I thought, well, I don't do anything with this figure, and it can sit down. So I thought I'd put it in there with Han Solo because it's Leia. It is Leia, Bespin Escape. And it's just such a horrible figure, and she can't even sit properly in that thing either. And her face is terrible. I hate the hips, and the car back is just absolutely vile. It's just a mess. That's probably my least favorite figure.
It's just and also it's just Hoth Leia without the thing. Without
the irony.
I haven't really put them side by side, but just without the waistcoat. Seriously, they just done that, have they?
Pretty much, yeah.
I never realised that. Yeah. The hips look a lot wider than.
Obviously, the hair's different and whatever. And
the face is awful. I mean, at least that new layer that's come, the New Hope layer. Oh well, yeah, there it is. That's what I just steal.
I just went to get it because that's my pick.
Absolutely,
it's awful.
It is terrible, isn't it?
They could have had such a good image on that card, but the figure could have been better. Yeah, much better.
Every layer has been diabolical, even going back to the Bespin Gown layer of TVC 1.0. That was a really questionable face, that. I mean, I know it was an older era of TVC, but awful.
What's Tony Z saying there? It's a Hoth layer with a BBL. What's a BBL?
Barbell. Don't know. Is it barbell? Don't know.
I'm not sure. It's different hair, obviously.
Yeah.
Different head and hair, isn't it?
But are you all happy with the new layer, lads? The one that's come.
Yeah.
That's soft goods, but it's
love it.
Lovely figure. Haven't got it loose yet. Haven't opened it, but yeah. And she looks stern, but she looks like Leia. She just doesn't have this weird, like, kind of dog face that all the other ones have. Terrible. It looks like her. And
they've always struggled, haven't they, with Leia, Han, and Luke over the years. They've never sort of really nailed it 100%. And the Leia, obviously, that we've just recently got, that's as good as you're going to get. I think that's just, they've done really, really good job with that. And let's just hope that the pipelined Luke and Han are going to have, something as good.
That's the thing.
In terms of like the head.
When I looked at the TVC, the new pilot Luke, and I was really looking at the face, thinking, "Wow!" I was just really looking forward to the Farm Boy because you can just tell that will be really good. I'm sure they'll do that justice.
Yeah, because that Luke is definitely his look from Star Wars, isn't it? His face is a bit more pointy, and whereas as we all know, his face changes from Empire onwards.
It does.
And the problem is, like, one of my favorite figures is the Luke Jedi. Love that figure, love the card back, but it's the same face as the one that they use for the pilot. And the
pilot one's got like a little mullet as well, hasn't it? It works because Mark Hamill's hair is a little bit squashed down, like he'd been wearing the helmet for a few hours in for some takes.
What was the third figure that came in that 3-pack of Luke's again? Was it was Jedi Luke, pilot, and
Stormtrooper?
There was a
thank you. Yeah, right. Same head on all three, wasn't it?
There was a Yavin as well that came out.
Face, slightly different hair.
Yeah,
they've never got the hair right for the Farm Boy Luke. The closest, I think, is the Resurgence of the Jedi, because it's slightly longer at the back. It's like Nick said, it's like a mullet, isn't it, sort of?
Yeah.
Every single one we've had so far has not quite got it right, have they? I hope they get it right on this one.
I just can't wait to see what combination they have. Will they have accessories with him? Actually, I shouldn't say that because then they're making bloody deluxe, won't they? But
he'll just have I
want a poncho.
You won't get one on the carded figure.
I want a poncho, and I want his hat, and I want his stick thing, and then you can have all that in the bubble.
They'll probably do multiple versions for scenes.
Yeah,
because even in a deluxe figure, if you got one on a giant card, you're not going to get all the Luke accessories all in one go. Because ultimately, you need a poncho. You need the little skyhopper. Yeah. You need his lightsaber and his lightsaber hilt. You probably need
goggles and the festival hat.
Yeah, goggles and a floppy hat. You need the training helmet, one of those probably, to cover all the scenes that Luke is in
Stormtrooper
belt, grappling hook, all this business. You're not going to get all them in one figure.
No.
But they could give us multiple figures for specific scenes.
The card back one, just for me, just needs to be Farm Boy Luke.
Just plain Farm Boy Luke.
Just like the original Kenner one.
Yep.
lightsaber hilt, lit lightsaber.
That's it.
Maybe a stormtrooper blaster. Maybe, I don't know, but
He wouldn't need it though, did he? Because
no. Yeah, you don't need
the Death Star escape.
You need a stormtrooper belt, and yeah, so yeah, just the lightsaber and lightsaber hilt, job done. And then after that, because that's how I want it to look on the card back. That's my only complaint about that Leia figure, is that you've got that separate hood piece.
That hood, yeah.
They should have put that behind the figure somehow, but obviously they want to show off what you get, you know. So from an aesthetic point of view, it would have been nice that, you know, just so it could have matched the original a bit more. But
yeah, it's exciting times in it, man, with that Cantina coming out as well. I'm proper geared up for that, man. I'm full out going shelf. It's like, what camp are you in, Dan? Are you in shelf or are you in aerial coffee table display?
Me?
Well, I'm just saying that's the general thing, isn't it? You know, that's for everybody. What are you going to do with it? Probably when I open it, I'm going to have it set out like it was as a four-dimensional space. But then ultimately, I'm going to get it on the shelf, man. Can't wait.
It takes up a lot of space in its entirety. If you had it in a coffee table or in the middle of your room on a table, I mean, you've got them glass tables in your room that you could sit one right in the middle and have it all set up, but it does take up a lot of space.
Yeah, potentially.
Well, my one does, the one I built.
Very exciting, though. I can't wait to get that. We've got a long wait, though. We'll have to wait another year, is it, for that, more or less, más o menos. Is everything all right, Mike? You're back, mate.
Sorry about that. My internet went down.
Yeah.
Sorry. Good old reliable. It just suddenly disappeared.
Don't go away again.
Oh, here he goes. Look, I thought we'd left that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Right. Speaking of Haslab, then I know we've all had a bit of Haslab fatigue, haven't we? But we could have a little chat now, boys, about what the next one would be. I mean, do you actually? Well, the first question is, will it swing back to 6-inch now? Will they have another stab at it? And if they did, what would it be? And also, what could we have next? I mean, we all have to, you know, we need a break, I think, with regards to our bank balances, I think, because
I've got 3 answers to that question.
Go on.
First answer, what would I like? I would like it to stick with the vintage collection, and I'd like them to make us a Sandcrawler with the option of using it for A New Hope and for the Mandalorian. So you could add the railings and the bits and the bars and the crane on the top for Mandalorian, and you can take them off for A New Hope. Second answer, if they did a Black Series Haslab, what could it be? I mean, it can't be too big. Maybe an ATST wouldn't be too big.
I've always thought that would be nice. I'd be interested in that if they did that.
A cloud car, or a ship that isn't too big. I mean, cloud cars would be rubbish because there's nothing to it. But I'm trying to think size-wise. You're not. We've already had they already did a snow speeder, didn't they?
Yeah.
There ain't a lot they could do. They could have another go at the Rancor and give the collectors the figures and characters that they need to go with it, and not some bones in a cardboard backdrop.
They could probably push it to an X-wing, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe an X-wing, maybe. But, and then the third answer, what do I think they'll do? If it is the vintage collection, then I'm 90% certain it will be a Marauder with all of the Bad Batch, because I think that's the only way in the near future that they'll get all those characters to the fans that want them.
Yeah, we've had our bite of the cherry now, haven't we? Us OT original.
You got a Rebels one. I'll tell you, you had a Mandalorian one, a Rebels one, original trilogy one. They may go Bad Batch, or maybe something from Ahsoka. Maybe her ship or something. I don't know. That'd be too big, though, won't it?
Yeah, it would be.
That's what I think.
Yeah, because if they did the Bad Batch outside of a Haslab, that's 4 newly tooled figures out of the budget. And we only get like 12 fully newly tooled figures a year, 12, 13 or whatever. So you're talking about a quarter of the budget going on the Bad Batch in one year. So I don't think they'll do that.
So what the budget for the new tooled figures in the main line is also tied to the Haslab? Surely the Haslab is separate.
No, that's what I'm saying. If they didn't do a Haslab, yeah, and you just brought them out normally.
Haslab, because then they're not using the budget for the
exactly. Yeah. So if that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the only way really to get the Bad Batch would be to be a Haslab, because I feel otherwise you're probably going to be waiting maybe 3 years. You know, if they did 1, 2 in a year, one another year, because I don't see ever time that they're ever going to have a time where they can actually go, yep, 4 newly tooled Bad Batch figures in the main line, because you've got to kick something else out, you know, and you've got new medias coming in. You've got to also, you know, give other fans what they want, whether it's Clone Wars or original trilogy, prequel trilogy. You know, we've got Dooku this year. That's you know, you've got to sort of keep everyone happy. And when you've only got like 12, 13 slots for fully brand new figures, I can't see it. So I think you're right. They probably would have to do, you know, the Bad Batch as a Haslab with the Marauder.
No, they would. Yeah, I'm sure they would now.
I'm with you though, mate. I think if they did a Black Series one, it'd probably be an ATST. I can't even see an X-Wing, to be honest. I remember one of the Hasbro guys saying if they were to do a Black Series X-Wing, that the wingspan would be 4 foot. So that's as big as the barge. Yeah. And then obviously the fuselage is even longer than that.
That'd be nearly 5. Yeah. 5 foot.
So you're talking about something that's going to probably take up my whole collection, you know, half of my collection room in terms of like floor space. It's just impossible, isn't it? Yeah. I just don't, you know. I mean, have you seen that really large one that you can get in the Rebels packaging? Do you remember that? Still supposed to be 3.75 inch scale, but it's huge, like this massive thing like that. Even that's just too big, you know. So,
what about a U-wing?
I would love for them to do a U-wing, yeah. And if it appears lots in Andor, then I'm going to even more. So, you know.
It's a nice ship, that, in it. It's got a bit of everything about it. It's got something about the Imperial Lambda in it about it. You know, the fact that there's compartments and areas of where you can get more than the pilots and stuff. You know what I mean? Stuff going on in the back.
You could get a Bodhi Rook. You could get a Melshi. You know,
it's got that underneath door as well, a bit like the gunship, isn't it? Sort of underneath the wings, it's like, you know.
It's lovely design. Yeah, I can't wait for Andor season 2, man. That's going to be great, isn't it?
What about the Mandalorian film? You looking forward to that?
Yeah. After the leaked trailer, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
When are we expecting that to be done? Now?
2 or 3 years yet, isn't it? 2 years.
2026, I think, wasn't it?
So basically, anything they would have had in the can for the season, what would it have been? Season 4 is just now.
The film is season 4.
Yeah, exactly. That's good in a way. They can tighten up and get rid of the crap, because that's what the Acolyte was. That could have just been a film, couldn't it?
So what do you think, Haslab, Nick?
Haslab, I mean, it's just ever since, I think it was either you or Mike, somebody sent me that someone had made a Sandcrawler, hadn't they? We all had it in our head what it could be, and I couldn't really get an idea of if it was too big or not. But I always kept saying to myself, it could be, I've said this so many times in videos, the length of the barge, but a double-decker barge. But whoever it was who made that Sandcrawler, and it was just awesome. And it wasn't massively big, but it was a decent scale. It had all the compartments on the inside, took the panels off like you did the barge, could see in there, and that was awesome. So I still want a Sandcrawler, really. It's just so iconic.
That's the thing with it, though, isn't it? It is quite funny. Like, I would want it to have all this intricacies and compartments and all this cool stuff going on, but ultimately I would just display it as the droid sail. Just facing, you know.
Exactly. But the thing is,
and even then, it wouldn't be in scale, would it? Because the tracks are supposed to be this high compared to a human.
Yeah,
so.
It's the one thing that I thought hindered it. You know, the fact that it's only very specific, isn't it, to that one scene at the beginning, and also you've got Mandalorian tie-in. But as a collector, I have a shelf dedicated to what has become now miscellaneous droids. It's got Owen and Luke and. You know, it's the droid sale, but further down the shelf, I just put loads of just other random droids in there, stuff from Star Tours, and I've even put Lola in there, you know what I mean? That thing from Kenobi, and a few spare bits and bobs, heads of battle droids and stuff. It's become my droid shelf. I'd love it if I could just put all that stuff inside Sandcrawler, you know what I mean? It would be great, especially in this droid factory era. There's so many droids going around, the stuff they do for Halloween and stuff. Oh, it would be fantastic just to have a home for all of that. Whack it all in, man. It'd be great. And yeah, what about you, Mike?
Yeah, well, I've said to Dan and yourself plenty of times. I mean, I would love a Sandcrawler, but I mean, going away from that, I would love to have an Ewok village. But again, obviously, I mean, that
would be nice.
Again, I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I mean, you're asking me, but it'd be good because obviously it wouldn't necessarily need to be. I mean, obviously you could make it really big. But the point being, it's obviously all parts, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? That you could sort of take bits out of and everything else. So it would obviously probably give a little bit more opportunity to display. The other thing obviously would be like the Lambda shuttle. But if you're going to do that of any sort of size, I mean, that I think that would be enormous, wouldn't it? I think really, in terms of the length and obviously the wingspan and everything else like that. But yeah, I don't know whether they will do another TVC one next year. I mean, just purely from the point of view, obviously they've just got sort of two still on, well, not ongoing, but nobody's obviously received the Ghost yet or anything, and maybe they will give it, give the Black Series something. But yeah, what that is, as we've already said, yeah, I mean, I threw in the X-wing, but Tim's pointed out that would just be again the size of the barge sort of thing, which is not going to be feasible. I mean, they could always do a Reaver lightsaber, couldn't they, or something like that?
Oh dear.
Tony's point there about new media and stuff, I think that is a good point. I mean, obviously there is a lot of people in new collectors, they want prequel stuff and new media and Bad Batch and all that kind of stuff. But I think maybe also that this Haslab was the first time that they didn't do a large vehicle, so it's like a place, so you've got that element of it as well. And I think if the next Haslab is TVC and they don't go down, I personally feel they will go down Black Series route. I think they'll just give that another shot, see what happens. And I don't know anything about this at all. It's just me speculating completely. But I think if it is TVC, then it will go back to being a vehicle, regardless of what media that's from. So whether it's the Marauder or a U-Wing or a shuttle, whatever it might be, I think, I wouldn't be able to say right now what media I think it's from, but I just think they'd go back to a large vehicle, because I just think a lot of the comments I was seeing that, the modularity of it's great and you can set up a scene and everything like that, but some people just want a big vehicle on their shelf.
Yeah.
It's just the way it,
That sort of brings me back to the Lambda, Tim, has always been something else. I don't know what I want more of, the Sandcrawler or the Lambda, because that's something that really does need to be done. They haven't ever done a second mold of that, I guess. It's always been that original, hasn't it?
Yeah, Y-Wing as well.
It's been in the so-called new media, Mando 2, Andor it was in. It's been in everything, Kenobi, and then Return of the Jedi, obviously. And I dare say it'll be there in other stuff coming up,
yeah,
the Mandoverse, or what's it?
Wasn't there? I don't know if you've seen the leaked
Andor season 2.
Andor season 2.
Yeah,
there's a scene where Dedra lands in it and walks out of it, and you just think, and that's why one of the reasons why Andor's so great. Like just things like that, they just know, how to. They just know a good shot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. He seems right on it, that Tony Gilroy. He's probably the kind of guy backstage around a board meeting or whatever who'll probably know how to fight his corner, you know what I mean? And say, no, that's how it's going to be. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. I don't know, man. It's,
the rumors are, though, as well. Didn't he say before he made Andor, or he was involved with Rogue One, wasn't he? Didn't he rewrite it or whatever? He'd never seen Star Wars before that.
I'd heard this as well. It sounds
he didn't really know anything about the lore, or
It's more about the strength of his perception of what characters should be doing, and it falls on the Star Wars universe is his painting palette or whatever, innit, or whatever. It could
But that
work
just
in-
shows you even more so, doesn't it, how important the writing is? Because, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
obviously he needs to write. He'll write a good story, and then he'll go back and go, right, now I need to check whether this affects this,
Yeah.
whether this cancels that, whether this, you know, retcons that, or whatever, you know. But first and foremost, he's got the idea of the story, you know.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, as Matt he's not called Universal Collector anymore. Zero Hunter Toys, Matt has always said, Andor's about real people. And Mothma is just a politician. She's just a real person, a woman with a struggle or whatever. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's just powerful stuff. Works, doesn't it, man? Yeah. Very, very good. I'm just trying to think if we should maybe have one of the giveaways now. Just a little bit of light relief. Have a duck race. So while I set that up, feel free to talk amongst yourselves, lads.
What do you think about Daniel and Mike? What about Luthen's ship for a?
Yeah, that would be a good one.
For a Haslab?
It would, yeah.
Oh.
I'm not too sure how popular it would be, but I would absolutely love that.
Well, that's what Haslab should be, shouldn't it? Very, very exclusive things that would never be made.
The taker.
I'd love that ship, man, as a Haslab.
It's like a Rolls Royce of Star Wars ships, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? I'd say more of a Ferrari. Like it's got that sporty kind of look to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
Mike. Come on, Mike.
Aston Martin.
Say there's quite a few comments in obviously in the comments section. Sort of people talking about, you know, the Death Star. But again, obviously that's, you know, you've got to make that very modular. Yeah, not quite sure how they would actually feasibly do that. Really,
very difficult.
Yeah.
Be expensive.
Yeah,
very expensive.
And to be honest, if people want to, you know, actually make that, to be fair, I think the best advice I would give, probably Daniel would say the same. You know, get yourself onto Diorama Workshop's Etsy page and just sort of purchase the decals from them and put them on foam cord. Foam, you know, they're really good, really good. And then you can just make what you want.
I'm sure we'll get them.
It really is difficult to do that sort of thing on, you know, for people to do that.
The first names, can you see the names on the list there, boys?
Yep.
Yeah, well, those names are YouTube channel members, those people there, and I'm about to paste in the Patreons. I was saying to Daniel earlier, I kind of regret not having two different races. I didn't realize how many YouTube channel members I had. I feel like I should have had a separate race for them and a separate race for the Patreons, but it doesn't matter. I'm having trouble here. What the F is going on? Excuse my language. What's going on here? Why can't I copy them? What's going on, lads? Bloody hell. Keep talking about something.
Well, I was going to ask something. I spoke with Daniel about this, Tim. I don't know. I hope you didn't cover this when I was off air, but I'm assuming you obviously I've seen your video, so I know that. But you've got your vintage collection, Jabba and Salacious Crumb come through.
Well, we didn't talk about it, did we?
One of the things I made a point with Daniel. I was really surprised how small the box was compared to the original 83 box.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, I know obviously it's sort of slightly different packaging and everything, and the packaging was a nice sort of throwback, but it was much, much smaller. And I know obviously a lot of people have sort of had from the videos I've seen, people have sort of been moaning about not necessarily obviously the sculpt's absolutely fine, but the painting on it. But I think is it a little bit different on everybody's different versions, really, because some have had that big sort of target on them, and others haven't been so prominent. And
I think there's been like with everything, there's been like a correction at some point, because a lot of the ones that the US guys have got, the chin painting is really pronounced, like, you know, and it just looks ridiculous. Whereas mine wasn't so bad. Mine did have the target on its belly, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, the box thing, I mean, I guess the vintage Jabba was bigger, wasn't it? And this is where a lot of people say, oh, this vintage collection Jabba's underscaled. It should be bigger, which I don't agree with at all. I try and sort of say this to people. I think it's Brett on Fett made a good picture, side-by-side picture of his setup, and he copied how it looks in the film. So you've got like Bib Fortuna standing next to him and C-3PO and whoever else, you know, figures in the background. And Jabba isn't actually that big compared to, you know, he's not this massive thing. And
no,
I think the scale all right. I do. I think it's.
Well, yeah, I didn't mean it about the scale. I wanted to. I haven't actually had the. I mean, unfortunately, I've got my original one from childhood, and it's in a box in the loft.
Yeah.
So I didn't have an opportunity to compare the size. I'm pretty sure, like you said, obviously it is a bigger figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just. It was purely just for me. It was just a weird when I sort of. The box turned up from Hasbro and I opened it, and then the half of the box there's nothing in it but a bit of paper. I thought, blimey, it does look a bit small, but that's purely the actual the box art. I mean, but I haven't had a really good look at the set. I haven't opened it, so I don't.
Yeah, I think they're just trying to minimize waste, I guess, packing it in there as tightly as they possibly can. Less cardboard and what have you. But you're right. The original vintage box is bigger, but the figure itself is bigger as well.
Yeah, it is. Should we go for this race? I've done this as 1 minute. I was going to do 2 minutes, but that's probably we've got several races, so not several, 4 or so. So we'll keep it to 1 minute. This is for what is this for now? This is Patreon members and YouTube channel members, and you're playing for the custom Wedge Antilles.
I'll have a fiver on the 4 dog.
Right, here we go. Hang on.
Exciting stuff.
It is William D. Kerner Jr., Martin Footer, Technomancer, Stuart Norris, Carl Wilson there. Not the Carl Wilson from the Beach Boys. Andrew Smith, I can see. Kevin Johns. DTM Collectibles. Oh, it's a good start.
Lara V's making a charge.
Maybe I should have done the 2 minutes.
No, this is perfect amount of time.
Yeah. It's better than doing that stupid wheel spinning thing, isn't it? Hello. Look at this, Martin Long.
Martin Long's going for it.
It's looking strong for Martin Long. And we've got Michael Page here bursting forward. Who are these other characters?
Oh, Brett on Fett's coming in.
Brett on
Fett's making a charge.
Brett's going to nick it on the line.
Yeah, do you know what? Sorry, Brett, but I really wanted Lara to win that because she's helped me out big time with Star Speeder. But no, Brett, I'm glad you won it, mate. Congratulations. That's awesome. Well done, Brett. Look at some of the data here. Hang on a minute. We can see from the list there, Lara V, second place, Martin Long, third. Last place was Technomancer. So, yeah, in other games later on, I'm going to do first, second, third, and last place will win in an only one Kenobi patch when we play for this. Can you see that thing there? Right, let's do race number 2.
What has Brett won?
He's won the Wedge Antilles.
Wedge Antilles.
Shall I show that again? I'm very small. Hang on, let me just...
Tony Z's got a good comment.
Yeah, I just saw that. That's fantastic.
Perfect comment.
There's so many tabs. What was that? I didn't hear that.
Tony Z, put up Tony Z's, the last comment. It's perfect.
Topical. We'll have to get some more Oasis in the chat, please, folks. Yeah, nice to see you, Stephen Murphy. Hello there, Steve. I haven't said hello to you. I think you came a little later. Trevor Ritchie. Chaotic Clouds. I love that name, by the way. Wow. Use the Force. Yes, indeed. Right. Did you see, Tim, or everybody, I got some chance cubes from... did you see the chance cubes when you were there, Tim?
I did not know, but I saw in your video that you got them, yeah.
They were selling... did you see I nearly said Jarek then. You saw that table, didn't you? But oh yeah, I'm Biggs, get me off.
Oh no, to be honest, when you told me about that table, that's not the one I saw. I saw like a wooden one with like wooden carved. That's the one I saw. I didn't see the one that you got that all lights up and
yeah, the wooden one was lovely actually. I liked it, but only because it was made out of plastic. It really did look like it was made out of metal, man. It was such a good thing. So I got that one, and it's electric as well. But I did eye up and consider the wooden one, and I can't remember what it was about it that put me off. Maybe the fact that it just didn't look like the one in Star Wars. It was a nice item. And was it heavy? I can't remember. The other one seemed heavy. But yeah, I can't wait to review it anyway. What? Oh, yes, but did you see the Sabat cards when you were there?
No.
I guess you didn't go to Disney Springs then, to the Star Wars Outpost.
No, then. I did go there, but I just, I don't know. I'm just looking for the figures and stuff like that. Really,
all right.
I haven't really got much space for like other merch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yes, they were like small items you could get in there. Yeah. All right. Let's have another race, ladies and gentlemen. How do we do this? Do it here. Right. So that was that one done. Let's do now the winners of the Only One Fans competition. That was Michael Lavero, Rob. Yeah, let me just get these names here. These were people who sent a voice note on the last episode of Only One Fans telling me what their favorite 3 3/4 inch figure was. So let's do it. What am I doing? Excuse me, language. You all still with me, boys?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry about this.
I think in this race we should you should put your money where your mouth is.
Some might say this is going to be better than the first one.
Yeah, some might say that. Yeah.
Do you know what? All I need is cigarettes and alcohol, boys. I'll see you later. That didn't work.
Is Lara V in this race?
Rubbish. What did you say?
Is Lara V in this race because she's electric?
Nice.
I'll tell you what, I'm just going to get that off the top there. She's got a family full of eccentrics, man. Oh, what have I just done that for? I just deleted everybody. Hang on a minute. What's going on? I don't know what I'm doing, boys. Amateurs. Oh, that's the Stone Roses. Sorry. Let's just see. I want to get that off the top.
Oh, Brett on Fett's in there again. He's in there twice, Brett on Fett.
He is. He certainly is. He's in there. We've got all these people. Carl Wilson again. Salacious Rum is in. He was in the previous one. Flick, Martin Futter, and Stuart Norris is having another dig at this. So let's get this one on. 1 minute, boys. Oh, Jesus, that's going to be 10 minutes. Oh, no! Oh, yay. Don't believe this. Jesus, imagine that. Should you have a 10-minute rate? No.
No.
Clear. Nah. Sorry, lads.
I'm looking forward to return to Tatooine. I think we're going to get some good stuff.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, won't it, when they
start revealing things.
When they start to give you ideas on that, what they're going to be doing, yeah.
Let's have it, boys. This is for the Admiral Akbar. This is a proper Admiral Akbar. It's got a broken roof, but it's still a vintage 80s Admiral Akbar, never removed from the bubble. Nice card back condition as well. Let's go.
Off they go.
Stuart Norris.
I reckon Brett on Fett's going to win again.
Just imagine that. That's so funny. Well, he's got a chance, hasn't he? 1 in 14 chance. Is it 14 people in this place? Flick. Got Samuel Liddell there. Rob V. Oh, it's too good from Flick here. I think he's usually the top 10. They drop back. Yeah, Martin Futter could burst forward.
Rum's coming in.
Charge.
Oh, he's going back.
No. Here we go.
No.
David RS.
Go on, Stuart.
Hello there.
Boy, Stuart.
Hello. Who's
Oh,
that?
who's it?
Whoever
There
that
we
is.
go.
It's
Oh,
Flick.
Flick's back again.
It's Flick. This is good news for Flick. Oh, look at that. Excellent. Well done, Flick. Congratulations. Brilliant. Oh, results later. Let's have a look. You've got Brian Johnson, second. Hard luck, Brian. Michael Lavero, third. And oh, look, Salacious Rum, dead last. Yeah, so, return to Tatooine. When's that all sort of kick in then? What's the 2025?
Yeah, next year.
What sort of time in 2025? Yeah.
Well, I presume it's throughout the year. They'll just drop
the whole year
things as they go, you know.
I'd love a Bantha, man. I'd love that. I really did think they were going to bring out a Bantha. I was obsessed with Banthas in Mando season 2, and that one for the Power of the Force 2 is a beautiful. I don't like that poodle one. That 30th anniversary is terrible, but I don't know. I just thought we were going to get things like that, and we never did. We've only just got a bloody what are they called now? Not dewback. What's the other thing called?
Blurg.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
you would think obviously the return to Tatooine will have stuff like that. You know it will give them a really good opportunity for that sort of thing. Josh B's made a really good comment in there as well. Hope we get an Eopi as well. That if you're looking at the creatures, there is quite a few, isn't there, that they could do definitely. And some would also need updating. So
Eopi would be a good one as well, wouldn't it? Because it ticks off a load of different media.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, boys, I might need your help for this next race. This is now for the Rebel Commando. And I can't see the chat when I go onto the Duck Race website. So I need you to shout out some names. If you want to be in the Duck Race, hit number 1 in the chat. And if I could just borrow your help, lads, if you just shout out some names, I might do you know what, lads? I'm going to use my head. I'm going to put the names on a Word document because I can't be doing with the faff if I've done it before. I've reset the.
Trevor Ritchie already mentioned he wanted to be in the race at 9:34.
At this point now, there needs to
Tony Z, Des P,
yeah.
MP Gary 28.
MP Gary 28. Yep.
Baron Morpertwis, that's how you say it.
Baron, I'm going to put Baron. Yep.
Good shot, Jansen.
Good shot, Jansen. These are real names, are they?
Delvian Seek.
Jansen. It's Jansen, isn't it? Delvian Seek.
Yeah.
Delvian, yeah.
Put Delvian. Yep.
Benakin.
Benakin. Yep.
Jedi Berry.
Or Jedi Berry.
Josh B.
Josh B. Yep.
Yeah.
Owen Mescal.
Owen. I was going to put Owen.
Martin from a long, long time ago.
Martin Long. Yeah. Martin long ago.
Martin McWi-Fi.
What I'm just going to put Martin McWi-Fi. I love that name.
I already said Trevor Ritchie. He wants in.
I'll put him. I haven't put him on my list though. Trevor. Yeah.
Robot Western.
Robot Western. Yeah.
Western, yeah, like the spaghetti Western. Yeah.
And Chaotic Clouds.
Oh yes.
Cliff Oliveira.
Chaotic.
Oh yeah.
Clouds. What was that one, Tim?
Cliff Oliveira.
I'm just going to put Cliff as in Cliff Richards. Yeah.
We've got a
Wilma Dickfit.
Wilma Dickfit.
Wilma Dickfit.
Oh, where did I get them from?
Was the one before Wilma Dickfit?
No, you've got Chaotic Clouds, I think.
Yeah. Chaotic Clouds. Oh, I can see some of the people on the chat. I've got a device here with the
oh,
thing.
God's sake.
It's all right. It's all right. That helped me, boys. I've got the phone on a stand here. Owen Mescal. I think I've got all these. Any others? Trevor Ritchie? Wilma Dickfit? Oh, Mo Lester. Okay, we're going to have a countdown now.
Oh, my God.
I just realized, who is it? Who's that with multiple accounts? Right, that's it now. I'm not having any more.
We're going to
10
get this
seconds.
shut down. This will be
9,
shut down.
8, 7, 6,
Nick said that. Nick fell for that one, didn't he?
3. I can't have that in. 2. Who is that? 1, 0. Should we get rid of that hacked, dodgy account?
No.
No, leave him in there.
We've got to keep that in then. Fine. All right, copy.
Who's going to do the who's going to do the commentary for the race? And coming up on the left-hand side, it is Mo Lester, and he's coming up on the inside, it's Wilma Dickfit. Who's going to win the race?
So, you'll notice, if you'll excuse, that all of these are in block capitals, but that was just for the sake of these. Whatever. So that is all the ones I got there. And there's a prize for first, second, third. First place gets that and a patch. Second and third get a patch, and last place also gets a patch. We're done. Should we make this 2 minutes, boys? Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Jesus. We're 2 minutes. Yeah, it's all right. It's fine. 2 minutes. Set. All the best.
Good luck, everyone.
My money's on Mo Lester. Oh, my God.
Oh, dear.
Look at Cliff.
Cliff's flying. You won't want Mo Lester coming up behind, would you?
It depends, if Wilma Dick fit.
Good shot, Jensen.
Look, do you think at that speed we'll be able to come out in time?
Nick, you didn't put Laura V in this one, and she's gone off.
She didn't type one in the chat, mate. That's what we were just doing, wasn't it? If you want to enter, you type one in the chat. You got to be here, mate.
Oh, look at the top. Mo Lester's stop making up ground now. Look, the green one.
MP Gary 28, Tony Z. 1 minute gone. 1 minute gone. Look at Martin Long sitting back there, man. I think he's going to burst forward.
Oh dear. Looks like Mo's going for it. Chaotic Clouds. Wilma's just hanging about there. Look, good shot, Jansen. Josh B. Who's going to make a move?
Colour commentary with that Daniel chart.
Somebody's got to make a move.
Tony Z there.
I'm going to go for.
I reckon Martin Long.
I think Owen. Owen's going to win.
Josh B. Hanging right back there. Martin McWifely. It's too good from him. His eyes. He might get last place. He's going right back. Martin McWifely. You could still win something.
Fish coming up.
9 seconds.
Oh, Wilma's making a move.
This.
It's going to be Wilma.
It's not Wilma.
It's going to be Wilma. Wilma's winning.
Oh my God! Wilma Dickfit, whoever that is. Please. Let's have a look at the data. You got Wilma Dickfit. I'm pressing the wrong thing. So first place, Wilma Dickfit. Second, Robot Western. Congratulations, MP Gary 28. And then last place, Owen.
Oh,
so Owen, say hi in the chat, Owen. You've won a patch as well. Hang on a minute. Congratulations. So yeah, Owen, where is he? He's not there anymore. He had a second name, didn't he? Can't remember.
Owen was last.
Yeah, Owen Mescal. Sorry, hi, Owen. So you've also won one of these. So congratulations. So that takes us, ladies and gentlemen, to not the end of the chat. We've got 15 minutes. If we always do 2 hours, don't we, Masso and Manos, don't we, lads? So we'll tell you what I'll do. I'll get rid of that. Boom. And back we are as just the four of us. Love it.
Unbelievable, that.
Yeah. So that is it, boys.
So are these duck races going to replace your Sunday evening chat, Tim? Questionnaires.
Oh God.
They should. Well done, Wilma.
That's fit over the line. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, that was really funny, that. So what was I going to say? I was going to do another couple of races for I haven't got them down. I was going to do those beer mat things from what they call from Galaxy's Edge, but I'll fit that into something else. I'll do that in an Only One Fans or something like that. We've had enough bloody stress for the night doing those races. Any final thoughts, boys, on the year? What's the thing you're looking forward to? Obviously, we're not at the end of 2024 yet. We've got a lot of time left, but Phantom. Hang on a minute. It's a Phantom Menace with the 25th anniversary. I've kind of forgotten about that. That's mad, isn't it? Like
99, 24, 25 years.
Yeah, wouldn't it have been great if they'd done more for the 25th? Like, what would your number one ask have been for Phantom Menace for TVC? Because that is just the dogs, isn't it? That's the best. Mine would have been a bongo, man. If they'd done that, if there was no 6-inch and they weren't putting budget into that or retro collection, it was just all about 3 3/4 inch scale, and they were sticking to that one style of the best the figure can be, full articulation, blah blah blah. I would have loved a bongo because that's never been done, and you could have tied in an updated Qui-Gon and an Obi-Wan and Jar Jar, and you could have had a few of those other. You could have had a 4-pack of Gungans, man.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, they should be doing that sort of thing anyway, Nick, shouldn't they? The 4-pack of Gungans. Especially if you're just army building it, I don't even think you'd necessarily need to rechange the mold. I mean, I know a lot of people do obviously want all the rocker ankles and everything on all of these, but for just those sort of simple army builders for something like that, happy to have those.
Absolutely, Mike. But forgive me for jumping in one more time. For everyone tiptoes around 6-inch and says, "Oh, what would work for a vehicle? Oh, they could do a starfighter, a cloud car." Thinking of all these little things that could possibly work in that scale. Something like a bongo, which has never been done and so appropriate for the anniversary, that would work, wouldn't it? In that scale, obviously, because it's not going to be gigantic and you'd have to worry about it not working. It would. Would it sell? I don't know. I'd like to think it would.
Remind me what the bongo is.
The bongo is the, I think it's called the bongo. It's the ship that goes through the planet Gore.
Yeah.
Oh.
That thing. It's a transport.
Yes, they did it in Lego, right? It's the
There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah.
It's that thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the one. Yeah,
what did they call it in Lego?
fleet.
They called it the Gungan sub.
That's it.
Yeah, right, okay. Yeah,
Right.
it is that, isn't it? It's like got a double name, like I can't think of another example in Star Wars, but like the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. But that would be mine. Yeah. Moving hastily on. I don't want to ask Daniel Chark because I don't know how big he is on the prequels.
Yeah, I like the prequels. Yeah, I don't mind the prequels at all. Not at all. It's all part of the story, isn't it?
What would have been something they could have done this year, Dan, that you would have liked to have seen for Phantom Menace 25?
Yeah, they could have given us some updated sculpts on a few of the prequel characters, I suppose.
Qui-Gon.
Yeah, Qui-Gon needs an update. A decent Obi-Wan. A good little Anakin would have been nice. A decent little Annie. And a Padme from the, when they meet at Watto's junk shop. Sebulba, never had a Sebulba. Unbelievable.
Well,
you've just said mine, Watto, number one.
Watto, yeah. Never had a Sebulba in the vintage collection, have we?
Not in vintage collection, no. Just
And
imagine how good he'd be as well. They'd really do it well, wouldn't they?
Good little Watto.
Paint him so good.
They could have done some of those the droider cars, those battle.
Yeah,
droids.
the droidicas, yeah.
That's an example of something with two names: droider cars or destroyer. They're called destroyer droids as well. Droider cars, master the destroyers. Yeah,
maybe a Newt Gunray and a what do you call him? Rennie Harco in it. His name Rooney Harco.
Yeah, Rune. Yeah, Rune. Rooney. Whatever you want. Yeah, pronunciation. However you want. Pod race, as somebody said that. That would be. They've kind of. Well, that's the main one. Is your man in it? Sebulba. Really good, wouldn't it? Watto's junk shop there.
Yeah, Des T, Captain Panaka, good shot.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Tim?
Yeah, Watto would be my number one figure that I'd want them to do. Fully articulated Watto would be really cool. But you're right, the Obi-Wan is
not great, is it?
This poor.
It
is
is,
poor. I think it's like still uses parts from maybe even the 2005 line. I think they've updated it slowly as they've gone on, but it's not. It needs an all new. And then they can use that for so many other Jedis and whatever.
They could surely adapt parts of the Ewan face, which they've nailed on other figures coming out. I don't know how the factory works, Tim, but they could surely.
It's one of them, isn't it? Like, some people out there just go, I don't want them to go over old ground. I don't want them to, don't update Maul. He's good enough. And I do share those thoughts because ultimately I want stuff that I've never had before. But there's some figures that are just so god awful and just don't. And the problem is when you bring out a new figure and then you've got this really crap thing next to it, and they go in the same scene, you're like, oh my god, that's just, it's terrible. So if they were to update episode 1 Obi-Wan, then you'd instantly want Qui-Gon, and then you'd want Maul. Yeah,
knock-on effect. Yeah,
look at the Black Series. They've got that 3-pack with all 3 of them, and they're getting a new Maul.
Right,
So,
ridiculous. That Maul that came out for Clone Wars was really good, and I've never tried swapping the head of that to the.
It does work.
Phantom Menace one.
It does fit, but it limits the articulation a little bit.
Oh, all right, fair enough. It's not long since they did a reissue, didn't they? You forget, so you kind of had 2 Mauls already, haven't you? In a way, I guess.
Yeah.
Wasted opportunity again to update even back then, isn't it? Well, they did actually. In fairness, they did update it, didn't they? Sorry, the face was better, way better. Like they did for the Padme. That's right, the face was way better on that Padme, the second one.
Yeah.
I mean, people were talking about doing play sets and stuff for like. We did it on Stuart's channel, didn't we? But I don't know how much I really want a play set of like the Theed political royal chamber. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things. What was I going to say as well about the year? That's right. One of the disappointments, going back to Haslab, the one we just had, the Cantina. I keep forgetting about it. But I keep forgetting about it. I haven't thought about it for a while. But the biggest anticlimax was not getting our Wolfman when it.
Oh yeah, tragedy. Absolute tragedy.
It was such a great. It was a success. It backed. It could have fallen.
And do you know what? I'm absolutely convinced if you'd had a full backing window, the full amount of time that all the others have had, we'd have got him. Because it was a short campaign, we missed him.
And also it being on show at SDCC. How many pre-orders would they have got at that show from people just seeing it there?
Got him. It's the fact that they had to shorten it for whatever reason, then that was a tragedy in itself. That's why we missed him, I think.
What did it finish up on then? How many light was it in the end in terms of numbers wise from getting that?
14,000. But sorry, correction, it was at SDCC, wasn't it? But it just wasn't. The pre-order had finished.
Yeah, it was.
So people that had gone to SDCC, they could see it there and see how amazing it was. They couldn't order the thing. So
couldn't order it.
We had a lot of things going against us there. The Acolyte was rolling as well, and people were grizzling about that during the time. People still hadn't received, they parted cash for the Ghost.
Yeah.
All these factors.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of need to deliver the first one before you're asking people to spend again, in my opinion.
Yeah. But it's great that the bright side is it backed. It did the job. Got there. But that Wolfman was just so nice. And I'd like to think somehow they're going to work him in. And I don't know.
Well, Nick, Trevor Ritchie's, the last comment is perfect. And everybody should take note of that.
Yeah.
Put him in there.
If you want him, vote for him in fan polls.
In last figure standing and that, they're watching, they're listening, and I think he'll do quite well.
Yeah, he was the one figure that looked really good in those publicity shots as well. Sat down at the booth with a drink in his hand.
Yeah, I mean the fan polls and everything. I mean, sometimes when you for example, you look at Dooku, right? We got Dooku because he did well in over a number of years in those in the March Madness, and he won it one year, I think. So and then we get him, Whereas there's other figures that have been made that have won that you would have got anyway. So like Bo-Katan, for example, she won it one year, but we would have got her anyway.
You would.
Last figure standing was the first time we did that last year. And we're not saying that, you know, it's because of that we're getting X, Y, and Z. But if you look at what was in that top 10, Luke, Ben, Balin, Shin, they've all been pipelined. So it'll be very, very interesting this year when there's no Balin and Shin for that recency bias. Oh, we must, you know, why have we not got these? We must have these. I have to put them in my top 10. And then you've got the people that are like, you know, the Luke, Han, and Ben that we've got are just not good enough. We need like updated, you know, versions of those. But so I'm not saying that, you know, that we've got those because of that poll. But what I'm saying is that they do look at that.
It helps.
And then if things marry up, then obviously everyone's on the same page, right?
Yeah.
Which is great. Yeah. But if there is a case of where, okay, we didn't think about doing that figure. So, for example, Ponkrell won it last year. I would not be surprised in next year or the year after, because there's 18 months, you know. I would not be surprised if we did get a deluxe figure of Ponkrell. It would not surprise me whatsoever. And it probably would sell well because he won the fan poll. So if anyone is going to be taking part in Last Figure Standing, which starts next week, or March Madness next year, then it's really, 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 really important that you do actually sort of, you know, get in there what it is you really want over anything else. Like, you know, I was saying to Daniel before we came on, I haven't really thought about who all of my 10 are, but 1,000,000% C3PO is going to be on there for me, because C3PO, we don't have him on a Star Wars card. So for carded collectors, he's a must. And the one we've got is crap. It is shit. So, it is terrible. And there's so many since I've got my new collection room and I've had room to display things loose. I've got so many scenes now which need a C3PO, and they all look terrible, you know, and it's just so annoying and that's what I said about, you get a figure that comes out and then you have this crap one next to it. And you're like, oh my God.
Brass. It looks so brassy, doesn't it, Tim? Brassy, coppery.
Yeah, and the amount of other figures they can get from a new protocol droid is out of this world. Not just from the original trilogy. You've got ones that are in Ahsoka recently. You've got ones that are in The Mandalorian season 3, that light blue one, and you know, the options are pretty endless for those, really. You know, K3PO, U3PO.
It's a no-brainer, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So for me, he is just on there, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, for other people, he might not be on there, but it's really important that you just get the 10 figures that you want the most, for whatever the reasons they are. And it could be, you know, that this person likes the Acolyte over anything else that Disney would do, because everyone's different. And if they want Acolyte figures, then put Acolyte figures on the list. And the cream will always rise to the top in these things.
Yeah. Isn't it embarrassing, though, that we have to vote for things like Shin and Balin?
Yeah.
We should have in it, you know, and Luther and the client, you know, dare I say, Dryden Voss. You know, well, they got that as well, didn't they? I say it's terrible to use that kind of language. I do think with the Balin and Shin, though, that is a case of we probably would have got those anyway. Exactly. No, you're absolutely.
But and therefore, you know, you could argue that they're a wasted vote. But then again, you don't if you really want them, you do have to reinforce.
You have to, because you don't have it. The reality is you don't have them, so you've got it.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. So they're forcing wasted votes, aren't they?
Yeah, if these things, so this is why I feel that this year is going to be particularly interesting, because a lot of the figures that made the 10 last year are no longer there. They've been pipelined. So everybody's list is going to be completely different this year, you know. Be really interesting to see what's what.
I'm going to have this fella on my list.
Oh, please, that'd be lovely. That is that a custom from Dean?
Yes, custom card and the old Saga collection figure.
Yeah, So is he making those, or does he get them from someone
No,
else?
he bought them from somebody and then
Right.
offloaded them.
They kind of look like
I got
Tatooine
this one from
customs
him as
points.
well. This is a beauty.
That's a nice looking one. Look at that, man.
Yeah.
2-1B. And this
That's
one,
2-1. Oh, sorry.
this one, they're not going to make this one, are they?
Well, they could and should. They had it in TVC in the special action figure set.
But it's that figure's good enough. You just need to stick it on a card. And then I've got 2 more that will be on my list. Oh, I did have until he fell over. Oh, there you go. There's a nice custom for you. It's upside down. Look.
Hey.
Yeah.
The Acolyte.
John Ruler.
And then the last one, the Rancor Keeper.
Yeah, Malakili.
Yeah.
Is that proper Malakili in there?
That's the Legacy Collection one in there, yeah.
Great figure. It's Tim from Boss Bounty.
It's Tim, when you take the hat off.
Sorry, Tim.
You know what, Tim? When you put a Rebel Fleet Trooper baseball cap on him, he looks just like you.
But except Tim has got a much nicer body than that, man.
Yeah. Well, he's
Daniel,
got my body in your head.
Is that where it originally came from, you, Daniel, that I look like him?
Possibly,
no,
yes. I said it was a cross between me and you. It's the bottom of it is me and the head is you.
I can't remember who it was who commented now. On my,
Absolutely.
I've got it on the end of an Only One Fans episode, whoever that was, who told me that. I think I put their comment up.
The strange thing that you say about that is that a kid that I went to school with, that's his uncle. The guy who plays the Rancor Keeper is his uncle. I don't know even if he's alive now. I haven't seen this kid, since I was at school. But I remember at the time Return of the Jedi came out that it was his uncle that was the Rancor Keeper.
Yeah. He's been in Minder as well, the actor. He played a
was he?
a couple of episodes of Minder the actor was in.
So the three of us now are going to shut up and let Mike speak. Mike? Hello, Mike.
I'm done.
You just sat there listening and bloody drinking or something. No, seriously, Mike, you must be under the weather, man, because you haven't said very little.
Yeah, I said to you before I came on, Nick, I'm not feeling brilliant. I did say that.
I know you did. I even expressed my empathy or my whatever.
He's not well.
Yeah, bad knee or whatever. What can we do an Oasis one on that one?
On a bad knee?
No.
I can't think.
Stand by Me.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of standing.
Stop the clocks. Oh, that's an album, isn't it? Sorry. Terrible. The first thing
still works.
So I lied actually because I said, we usually do 2 hours and it's hit 10 o'clock, but we're actually started late. So on my clock, it says 1 hour 53 the stream has run. So we'll make it 2 hours. But seriously though, Mike, I know you're under the weather and all the best and get well. But anything you would like to chip in with, Mike? That's because you always have so much to say. You're a very knowledgeable TVC man. And
no, I mean, it's just, again, I think the point sort of Tim made about voting obviously in these polls. I remember we did a video yonks back, Nick. I think when I first came on one of your, I think it was the Wretched Hive, something like that. And I've actually got the bit of paper in front of me because we were talking about some of the figures that we wanted, and it was just interesting actually, just looking at it, the ones that we've actually got. So I suppose the point I'm just trying to make is I think obviously Tim said obviously everybody vote in these things. But also, for people doing any channels or any vids or anything, they definitely watch because we've got a lot of figures that, we probably previously wouldn't have had unless people had sort of rattled cages and kept banging the drum for them. So, yeah, that's it, really. Not a lot.
Well, you've just inspired me there, Mike. I'm going to look on my channel. I'm going to look at my videos and go to oldest, and I'm going to scroll from the bottom. And I want to see, because most of my first videos were all about the figures I wanted in TVC. And I think most of them they're actually done now. Yeah. Like, for example, R2, original R2, which they gave us in VC 149 a while back, but now they give us 16-1. Emperor, but Boba Fett, Blue Sky, AT-AT Driver. That's the only one now, really, of that lot that they haven't done. So AT-AT Driver needs to be done. Jawa they've done. Lobot's done. ATSD driver. Crix Madine. There's another one that hasn't been done yet. That's 2. Let's see what else they've done.
And we still desperately need a Porkins.
Yeah. Reuse they've done. They've done Lando. As I say, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my videos from.
Yeah, but I mean, again, you know, I was just looking at this. We had a lot. I mean, I mentioned things like on the list were like people like Lobot, the Cloud City Guards. We got people for Tuna. Do you know?
We
what I
need
mean?
an Acolyte badly.
Yeah, that was on my list, Dan. But yeah, it's obviously not.
Lando Calrissian Skiff they've done. Biggs is another one that was on my first few videos. That would be great. And then Rex they've done. Ventress. Well, it's very difficult to do Ventress. That's the Ventress video I talked about her. And then that's about it for the first few videos. And then I just sort of went off and started my channel after that.
And I've also seen, I'm going to just jump in on a separate note. I think some people in the US have already started to get their blurgs as well, haven't they? Because have they been sort of released early? So
Amazon are starting to ship them. Yeah.
Right. That'd be good if we can get them.
I see. The Forces with Jesse's got his Cobb Vamp already.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good. Have you watched his review?
I saw something for it. He'd posted it, hadn't he? I thought it was just a picture.
No, he's got the figure in hand. He reviews it.
I mean, I've watched that video. I was talking with Jesse earlier today. I was chatting with him earlier about the Acolyte, actually.
Yeah, it looks good.
I'll have to watch that.
With that figure, obviously, you've got the body armor is removable, but obviously the bits on his arms and that aren't. So they're obviously going to give us another one of those without his armor. It would have just, I don't know. It looks good. It did look good. But maybe they should have just done that with the armor. Do you know what I mean? The chest plates nailed down sort of thing if they're getting you another one. They'll
be doing the Sheriff.
Yeah.
Book of Boba Fett Sheriff.
Yeah.
And speaking of 3PO, Tim, earlier, I put my 3PO, my golden one, the one that sits down, I put him in the Tomorrowland People Mover. He sits in there really nicely. I want another one of him. But I just wonder what if they did a TVC one, because, you know, they back metalized the retro one, what it would look like, man, if they could make it really shiny like that back metal style, or just use a silver paint that shines up.
I don't think he needs to be that shiny. He's that shiny at the end of A New Hope.
Yeah.
And at some other time in the films, like one other time. Most of the time he's quite weathered, isn't he?
Yeah.
In A New Hope, even after his oil bath, he's not super shined up like he is at the end of A New Hope.
He just needs to look gold, not brass, doesn't he? I mean,
yeah. So I think they did a pretty good job with like the silver on Jango Fett, for example. That's quite a shiny silver. There's another figure that's been out which I'm forgetting, which I
was going to say, in the Power of the Force line, didn't
Thank you very much, Tony, for that. That's very kind. Super sticker from Tony Z there. Ever generous follower of the channel. Thank you, man. Go on. Sorry, Michael.
No, I was just going to say, I'm sure in the Power of the Force line, did they not give you a really, really like vac metalized 3PO? And obviously not with the articulation, but was there something like that? Either in the Power of the Jedi or the Power of the Force line? There was one, I'm sure.
Yeah, so you can get the one that comes with the Ewok chair is super vac metalized.
The Saga collection Ewok throne, that's very shiny.
Yeah, and also similar one that comes with the Salacious Crumb with the eye. You know, that's the one I currently use.
Slime,
I'll tell you what is a good C-3PO, and that's it's quite hard to get over here, but it's not articulated, and it comes in a 2-pack with R2-D2, and it's in the Solo packaging.
Yeah.
You can get a 2-pack of the Force Awakens packaging, and the 2 droids in there are terrible. But the Solo packaging, the R2 in there is the Builder droid one that we've just had on the re-release. And the paint job of that one is like Tatooine. So it's not too heavily weathered like he's been blown up like at the end of the Yavin battle. Or if it's Dagobah, who knows. But the one that comes in that 2-pack and the C-3PO, the sculpt is really good in that one. And he's got like the oil dripping down from his restraining bolt, and you know, it just looks. It's just a nice sculpt and good scale.
And what's that go for? On the secondary market, is it affordable or is it expensive?
Over here, it's expensive, mate, because you just couldn't get it.
Oh man,
I think it is a Toys R Us exclusive in the US.
Oh wow, there were so many good solo figures, and they were relatively easy to get, weren't they? But that sounds like something I want. That,
but it's not articulated, so it's just 5p away. You know,
but still,
in terms of just standing there, it looks really good.
I'll have a look for that, and I can't remember.
It's a bit like the one that you always mention, Nick, about the AT-AT driver. You know, and the Rebels line. Great sculpt, just doesn't. You know, it's just 5p away, isn't it? So
it's just so good you forgive it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know what you mean. Awesome. Well, we've done 2 hours exactly at that point there, lads. So we'll leave it there. But this was just a really good comment. This guy is totally on my page there. An XR Kun in. Oh my God, that would be such a grail item. That I would definitely be on board with that.
Yeah,
and if they did a line like Comic Heroes, you know, they've done like, what is it, Gaming Greats. If they did a Comics Greats, that would be just so good. If Hasbro just suddenly decided to do that and get people like that in, I'd love it. They did XR Kun or whatever I pronounce it. All right. Well, thanks so much for all the people who were watching. I think we hit a peak of about 70 people watching or something like that, which is amazing. Great. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to my guests, Solo Shot First, Daniel Chart 99, and Tim from Bosk's Bounty. And in the words of Tim from Bosk's Bounty, we shall see you on the next one.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you,
guys.
Thanks, lads, and thank you everyone for watching. Take care. Until next time. Goodbye.
Cheers.
Bye now.
Bye.